All right, guys. So we're here with Joey. Joey has been able now to quit porn for good, and he's also someone that I actually met in real life. One of the few guys that actually had the chance, alongside with Josh. If you saw the other video that I posted recently. So, yeah, man, Joey, if you can tell us more about yourself.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Joey. I'm 29 years old. I'll be 30 in like 5 weeks about. And yeah, I'm an AI developer. I have an agency and I work in automation processes for law firms.
Awesome, man. So, yeah, can you tell us, Joey, like a bit more about like sort of your backstory before you left porn? Like, what was your life before you really just completely, break free from porn?
Uh, when it's just the fact that you start realizing that I can do everything that I'm not doing, and just by going through like an obstacle that basically is like meaningless, right? It's just like there's nothing good that comes from it. It's just you're watching a screen, and that's literally ruining your life just by watching a screen. And you start realizing this, like, why am I doing that? And then you just come to the realization that, is it really a problem, or am I making it a problem? It's like is it really like that life sabotaging, or is it me that's sabotaging my life?
Yep.
And you start realizing that, it's like, is it a habit if I am aware? Like I am moving, like I am going somewhere privately. I am turning on my laptop. I am typing the website. I am sitting and watching. Like if it's a habit for me, like a habit is something that you're not aware that you're doing. Right? Like when I sit for too long, I have a bad habit of sliding down, you know?
Hmm.
So this is a habit because I don't realize this is a bad habit. I don't realize, I have
Yep.
that tendency. But then once someone tells me, like, if I want to stay slid down, that's not a bad habit. Like I'm choosing to. I'm telling him, like, no worries. I want to stay slid down. It's the same thing when you go and watch like everything that you shouldn't be watching, It's yourself telling you like, hey, this is bad. And if you tell him like, oh no, it's fine, I'm gonna do it anyway. Like you're literally taking that decision. It's you.
Yep.
It's you who's taking that decision. And it's just like the fact when you start realizing like why am I taking that decision? Like I don't do cocaine because it's bad, but I'm gonna do this instead. Like it's like it makes no sense, Like it's just if you want to take the decision to be straight, do what you have to do, just hustle. You choose that, you know.
Hmm.
Like I
Yep.
don't have a habit to go to work. It's just like I wake up and I decide today I'm gonna work.
Exactly.
The same thing with watching all the stuff. You wake up and you decide you want to watch.
Yep. 100%, man. 100%. And the big thing with this is like, look, the nofap slash like porn recovery space always preaches this idea that like, oh, you're gonna be flooded with like dopamine cravings and urges, and then suddenly you're gonna lose control over yourself, and you're just going to like mindlessly type the porn site, and then mindlessly just watch the videos and scroll, and then just regret what you've done, right? Which makes zero sense. And when you, for example, do
No.
like Joey, which is just to take responsibility and realize, like, I'm making that decision, right? There's no one forcing me to either watch porn. There's no one forcing me to not watch porn. I'm the one deciding what I want to do. Just like, for example, someone decides to work hard or decides to not work at all, right? And so we have like the ability to choose. We have free will. Free will is like literally, it's the most simple
Mhm.
thing to understand. And, one of the gifts that God gave us, basically, if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
But people act as if like they don't have it, and that they can't do anything about it, and that porn is somewhat going to like overpower them. But really all that's happening is you're giving the power to porn, and you're basically removing the power from yourself and you're giving it to porn, right? And then you're saying, oh,
Mm.
porn is doing this to me. Porn is triggering me. Now I'm gonna lose control and just fall into it, right? And we're not just saying like man up, right? Like just toughen up, you know. We're saying like this is the objective reality, right? You know, if I always give this example, just for example, in the course, maybe Joe, if you remember, like, you know, if I gave you $1 million, but you gotta stop watching porn, would you be able to do it? Everyone says yes. So it's like, is it a question of you can't do it? Is it a question that you don't want to do it, right? And when I say don't want to do it, I'm not saying like you actually don't want to do it. It's just that you see reasons, you know, this is what we call the root cause, you know, the subconscious reasons as to why you want to do it. And so we need to tackle them, but at the same time, you just gotta know that you have full control over that, right? So cool, man. Now that you've like left porn behind, right? And this is not a part of your life anymore. Like, how has your life changed overall?
But just I want to go back to the idea of dopamine and people using this as an excuse that oh there's dopamine. Think about like when you go to the movies. If you go to the movies at 3 p.m., you're going to enjoy this, you're going to have dopamine. Are you going back at 5 p.m., 7 p.m., 9 p.m. every single day? You enjoyed it, you had dopamine, but then you didn't go back until like months afterward, until like there was a good movie that came
Yep.
up, and even that, like you thought like, is it really worth it,
Yep.
Even though
Same
you had
thinking with
dopamine.
you.
Think of all the things that you enjoy doing. You're getting dopamine, but you're able to live your life through it.
Yeah, exactly,
So,
exactly. And if we just like understand like that dopamine is just release in the anticipation of a behavior, you realize, and this is the real definition, I'm not making this up. You just realize that like, look, dopamine is just you choosing to release it when you enjoy doing something for specific reasons. It's like you have full control over it. I'm not, when I'm saying like you're gonna never release dopamine, I'm saying like, you know, you release dopamine for so many other things. Yet you don't say,
yeah,
"Oh, I'm addicted to going to the movies. I'm addicted to playing video games.
yeah,
I'm gonna play 16 hours a day." Or even the most simple explanation is, look, yeah, food contains dopamine. Let's say if people say that, but why don't you then just like eat a bunch of food without any control, right? Like without controlling yourself. People don't do
yeah,
that. People
exactly.
have choose to eat whatever they want. People choose to watch movies or not. People choose which movies they want to watch, and you know we have full control over that, man.
Literally. Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, man. So touching back on the question of like how has your
Yeah.
life changed now that you left porn and everything?
Honestly, I think one of the most powerful things that I was able to do, like I realize now it's powerful, I didn't realize before, of getting used to being bored, because like it is such a powerful like life hack. If you're used to being bored and then just think about what you want to do, like it is so it's so powerful because you're thinking about your future, you're making plans, like you're thinking like, oh, what I'm gonna do, I don't have anything to do. Yeah, you just sit down then. Like success isn't about doing more of what you're doing, it's about doing less of the things you shouldn't do.
I like that.
Yeah, this is what I realize it is, like you don't need to take 13 more courses, just do just do less of what you're not supposed to do, and just sit and think and plan. Like you don't even know how much you can plan and think when you're bored. Like people
Yeah.
haven't experienced
Yep.
that. Most of people don't even know. They're like, oh, I'm bored. Like, yeah, just reflect on things. And afterward, you stop being bored because everything you think about now you want to apply it.
Yep.
And then this is the switch. This is when I realized like that switch can happen. Is when you get bored for a bit. And I'm not talking like for like, a whole year of you being bored. And like it literally takes like 5 days.
Yep.
And then you start applying things. Like it's not a process. Like, yeah, it takes 90 days for your brain to rewire. But like it's not for you, like it's gonna change like within like the same week. You know,
Hmm.
like your brain, let your brain do the work. You know, he needs 90 days. Okay, you would be a different like within 2 weeks. You
Yeah, yeah.
just drastically change your life. You know,
Exactly, exactly.
it doesn't take 21 days to get rid of a bad habit. Like it takes like days, like a few days. You
Hmm.
know.
Yeah, it's not too hard, right? This is why I say it's effortless in that sense. But you touched like on a very, very, very good point of, now that this is out of your life, and this is the main benefit I always tell to other people, which is now you're able to be bored and really think, right? Just think like people in this day and age were fed with distractions all over the place, and PMO is a huge one, right? Because PMO means that oftentimes it is packaged with, oh, let me do it for a few hours, right? Which takes a lot of time, right? And that means that you're not thinking about anything meaningful. On top of
Yeah.
that, afterwards you feel shame, you feel guilt, so you distract yourself even more, and so you just spend like days, months, years being distracted, never, like you said, planning about the future, thinking about things that
Yeah.
are meaningful to you, that will motivate you to do new things, for example, or that you could reflect upon, right? I always give this example. Well, if you're bored and you have nothing to do and you're just there thinking, you're going to know more about yourself, or maybe, for example, you're going to think about something or someone that means a lot to you, right? Like, let's say, for example, you have one of your siblings, and you start thinking about, like, oh yeah, my brother, I love hanging out with him, and you start thinking about like memories, and you feel good, and you're like, I need to give him a gift, right? And then you think about giving him a gift, and then you go and give
Yeah.
him a gift, for example, and then boom, like you start actually like doing meaningful things in your life. But when you're constantly distracted, you never reflect, and when you never reflect, well, look, life is just going to pass by. It's almost as if like you're living in another like dimension, right? And you're never, present in that sense, right?
Yeah, it's a capsule. It's literally a capsule. Like you start with one, and then like 1,000 later, you realize, wow,
Yep.
like it's been weeks that I'm here. Like, whoa, I haven't done anything in weeks. This is why I think diary, like writing in an agenda, what you want to
Mm-hmm.
do, everything, right? Like everything you're thinking of doing, eating lunch, write it down. Drinking water, write it down. And then at the end of the day, realize what you did, what you didn't do.
Yep.
And I don't think about, oh, how I'm going to turn 2025 into my year. Think about your afternoon.
Yeah, I get
Okay.
it.
It's
Of
just,
course. I mean, you can't live in the future.
yeah, so yeah, if you do that 365 times,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah,
But
of course.
yeah, but yeah, exactly. Just need like be aware of what you're doing. Write it down. Have like a visual of what you're doing, what you're not doing. And this is like how you realize how it is.
Hmm. Great
And
tips,
one
man.
thing also like I keep thinking about is like whatever you're watching, it's like, oh, this is wonderful lady. If she comes out of the screen, what are you gonna do?
Hmm.
Are you gonna flirt? Are you gonna talk to her? Are you able to do what they're doing in the video? Like, are you capable physically? Like, you
Yep.
start thinking, actually, no, I cannot hold her like this or whatever.
Hmm.
So, like, yeah, go to the gym if you're not able to do this.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing, right? Because when you really think about it, porn is more like a fantasy. It's like you
Literally,
kind of
yeah.
like, it's just like as if you're like in another universe. It's not that you're actually in another universe. It's just like you're so like in your mind that you're just living this experience in your mind. You're not even living it physically. So,
Yeah.
I always also give this example within my course and within my future book, which is, look, if you're, let's say, for example, you watch these videos about like this certain actress every single day. If you met her in real life, probably not going to react as like not even the slightest bit um, you know, like the same way that you're reacting when it comes to like, watching her on those screens, right? And so that's the thing we got to realize. It's like we as as men, it's like the internet value of porn is non-existent. It's literally non-existent, and we're not saying this to force you to stop. We're just saying like, look, it is a screen. You're the one just creating all of like those placebos around it that porn is not giving you. It's you that is giving you're giving that to yourself, and there's no point in watching porn. Like there's just literally zero reasons. But obviously we got to tackle those reasons, right? Like for example, when you watch the course, like debunking every single benefits, right? Understanding like
Yeah.
these things so that like it really helps you just like understand why you do it, and then you can just say, oh, you know what? I have free will. I can choose. Let me just move on from it, and it's pretty effortless in that sense.
Yeah.
But Joey,
Like
like,
we're
what were
not.
you like
Yeah.
your? Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, no, because you said like you don't want to force them to stop. It's just like, no, we're not enforcing it on you.
Yeah,
We just want you to know it's a choice.
exactly.
Like if like be aware that you're choosing this. You know, if after 10 years you realize you just ruined your whole life, every opportunity you just broke it, this on you. You know, like those like, oh, I was addicted. No, you're not.
Mm. That's the
No,
thing.
you're not.
People
You
like to
know,
outsource responsibilities, you know?
the same as when you snooze your alarm. You're not
Yeah.
addicted to snoozing your alarm. You just want to sleep more. You're not addicted to sleep, you know?
Exactly. And that's
Yeah.
that's that that's very interesting, you know. And we're not saying this again to say, oh, just man up, just toughen up, like
Yeah, no,
just
no. It's
just
it's a
be
choice. Like
yeah, I
just
would
be
just say
aware
like you
that
have
it's a choice. Yeah.
exactly, like you have full mental autonomy to make the choices that you want, right? And this is the power that you have. It's just a lot of people kind of like they somewhat like this idea of let me not take responsibilities for the things I haven't done or the things I've done which were detrimental to me, and blame it on an external force like porn or masturbation or the fact that the world is over sexualized. Look, there are other people your exact age with the same amount of testosterone as you, same libido, who don't indulge in
Mhm.
those things. And we're not saying you need to be like them. We're just saying that you have the ability to just interpret, redirect. You can choose to suppress. You can choose to do whatever you want with that innate desire to be with women, and you don't have to go and watch porn or masturbate, because watching porn or masturbation doesn't really give any value. I mean, it doesn't objectively give any value. And even if we look at the studies of masturbation, which is another subject, if you want to watch my videos on my YouTube channel to understand more, you can. Let me ask you this, Joey. Like before, like you started like everything, with the courses and the coaching. Like, what were your like your doubts? Like, what did you think in your mind? Like, maybe it was like, oh, this is not gonna work out, or oh, I've done this in the past, something similar and didn't work out. Like what were your doubts and how were they cleared after like you really just left porn masturbation, you went through the videos and the coaching?
Like for me, because like I just been hospitalized so much, and I couldn't like finish the classes in person that I was like in universities and everything because I had to leave, come back.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, like it was everything was meaningless. It
Mm.
was just like what I'm gonna do. I wasn't
Yeah.
happy. I was like, and I was staying at home most of the time because like all my friends graduated and left, and then like what I'm gonna do.
Hmm.
So it was the fact that, like if back then I stayed bored for a few days and started thinking about how can I socialize, like I wouldn't be fall into it, but it was just the idea of, oh no, I don't know what I'm doing. I have nothing.
Mm.
This at least I'm feeling happy, like whatever.
You mean PMO,
So,
like porn
yeah,
masturbation? Yeah.
yeah. And this is like for me, it was like a refuge, but
Hmm.
then you realize, it's not a cover that's covering you, it's suffocating you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you realize like the next day, then things started going well. But then, in my mind, I was like, no, it's an addiction. It will take time. I cannot
Mm.
call it cold turkey. Even though I tried, it would be like a few days and then I come back.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, this is normal, like it's normal. It's an addiction. But then after watching your classes, it's like literally, when you're tired and then someone slaps you and you're like, whoa, I'm up now. Like everything is bright, everything is clear right now. Like it was like that, you know. It's like yeah, I am saying to myself, oh, it's fine. The fact that you say it's fine, it means it's a decision that has been taken.
Yep.
It's not your brain that's telling you do this, you know. It's you being okay with it.
Exactly.
And this is like when I started realizing, you know, like things are going good, fine now, you know, health wise.
Nice.
They could get much better, you know, if I just put in the work. And I'm not telling you like start an enterprise tomorrow, you know, just like work an hour a day, maybe that's an hour more than what you used to do,
Hmm.
you know, and just and then you build up to it, you know, you get interest. Like just I think 7 minutes a day is enough to build an interest, is enough to get into something, you know? So it's just
Yep.
like just start. Just like, oh no, I don't know what I'm starting. Well, three, two, one. Whatever you
Yes.
just thought of, started. You
Yeah.
know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, and totally agree with you here, and that's the thing, right? People just got to start, whatever it is. We're not even just talking about like quitting porn, masturbation. We're talking about just in life in general, right? You got to start because, look,
Yeah.
most people that we coach are, from the age of like 26 and upwards, and we also have like younger people, and it's like, look, whatever age you're at like right now, it's like you can do we're not just talking about like business. We're not just talking about like careers, right? We're not just talking about those things. We're talking about just like in life in general, also, right? Whether that's like the fitness that you want to pursue, right? Like, for example, the physique that you want to build. Maybe that's like you reading like books, for example. Maybe
Yeah.
that's you like building something which you wanted to build for like so many years, but you're always procrastinating on it because you were so distracted. Like, just do it as soon as possible, even if it's just a small amount of work, even if it's a big amount of work, just, try it and see, how it is. And you're probably going to end up like not only enjoying it, but seeing like a lot of progress, which is going as a byproduct to make you enjoy it even more. Even though it sounds cliche to say just start now, it's like, yeah, like start now, that's like the only
It's a
thing
cliche
which
for a
they
reason,
need.
you know?
Yeah, exactly, man. But yeah, man, thank you, Joey, for sharing your journey, sharing like these insights here.
Yeah.
If you guys need more help, I have a free private community that you guys can join down below. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.